Title: The Great Train Robbery, the heist of the century on the dark night of August 8, 1963. A Royal Mail train was speeding from Glasgow to London. Inside, it carried a fortune bags of cash amounting to £2.6 million, equivalent to over £67 million, or $85 million today. The driver, 58-year-old Jack Mills, was pushing the engine through the darkness, when suddenly, a red signal flared at Sears Crossing. This was abnormal. The train wasn't scheduled to stop here. Jack applied the brakes, bringing the train to a halt in a desolate area. Silence followed. But this wasn't a technical glitch. It was the start of the Great Train Robbery, a master plan to steal a fortune without firing a single shot. Months earlier, London criminal Bruce Reynolds began planning the heist. He teamed up with a notorious gang known as the South Coast Raiders to form a crew of over 15 men. Reynolds had a secret weapon, an insider within the Royal Mail security team, a man whose identity remains a mystery to this day. The insider provided crucial intelligence about the high-value package's HVP coach. 3 strokes of incredible luck or tips made this robbery possible. Asterisk the formation. The cash-laden HVP coach was attached second from the engine, making it easy to detach from the rest of the train. Asterisk the cash. It was a bank holiday weekend. Instead of the usual £300,000, the train was carrying £3 million, 10 times the normal amount. Asterisk the fault. The modern HVP coaches with alarms were out of order. The train was using an old reserve coach M3024M with no security alarm system. At 3 a.m., the gang made their move at Sears Crossing. They tampered with the signals using a simple but effective method. They covered the green light with a glove and powered the red light with a battery. When the train stopped, the assistant driver stepped out to call the signalman, only to find the phone lines cut. He was immediately overpowered. The gang stormed the engine. When driver Jack Mills tried to resist, he was struck over the head with an iron bar, knocking him unconscious. The robbers then uncoupled the first 2 carriages from the rest of the train. The plan was to drive the engine and the money coach 1 mile down the track to Bradegoe Bridge, where their getaway trucks were waiting. The glitch: the gang had brought a retired train driver to move the engine. But he panicked. He didn't know how to operate this specific new model of diesel locomotive. In a moment of irony, the robbers had to wake up the bleeding Jack Mills and force him to drive his own train to the robbery point. At Bradegoe Bridge, the gang broke into the HVP coach. They overpowered the 5 postal workers inside, forcing them face down on the floor. They had a strict 15-minute window. Forming a human chain, they began offloading the cash. There were 128 sacks of money, weighing 2.5 tons. They managed to load 120 sacks into their Austin Lodestar truck, leaving 8 behind as time ran out. Before leaving, one robber made a fatal error. He told the postal staff, "Don't move for 30 minutes, or we will kill you." This seemingly threatening command gave the police a massive clue. It implied the hideout was roughly a 30-minute drive away, a radius of about 30 miles, 50 kilometers. The gang fled to Leatherslade Farm, exactly within the police search radius. For days, they lay low, listening to police radios and celebrating. They split the loot approx. £150,000 per person, and even played a game of Monopoly using the real stolen cash. However, hearing the police close in on their location, they panicked. They left earlier than planned and paid an associate to burn the farmhouse down to destroy evidence. The associate took the money, but failed to burn the farm. When police raided the farm, they found food, sleeping bags, the getaway truck, and the biggest piece of evidence, the Monopoly board covered in fingerprints. Because most of the gang had prior records, the fingerprints matched immediately. Within weeks, 14 of the 16 robbers were arrested. Asterisk the sentences. The court deemed it the robbery of the century, handing out harsh 30-year sentences. Asterisk the victims. Jack Mills, the driver, never recovered from the head trauma. He couldn't work again and passed away just 7 years later. Asterisk. The mystery: 2 men were never caught. The replacement driver who failed to drive the train, the mysterious Royal Mail insider. The Great Train Robbery remains a legendary tale of a perfect plan, ruined by simple mistakes, a legacy of millions stolen, lives ruined, and a Monopoly game that solved the crime.